Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. It's a moment that feels eerily familiar to Washington Commanders fans, a déjà vu that has sparked debates, worry, and a flood of social media chatter. Jayden Daniels, the young quarterback who burst onto the NFL scene with a dazzling rookie season in 2024, has found himself facing the kind of adversity that sends fans straight into the memories of Robert Griffin III's storied, yet turbulent career. Daniels, much like Griffin before him, captured the league's attention immediately, winning the Offensive Rookie of the Year and leading his team to the playoffs. It seemed as if Washington had stumbled upon another generational talent at quarterback, someone capable of carrying the team on his shoulders and igniting the franchise with energy, poise, and a spark of brilliance that only a rookie sensation can bring. But just as quickly as the accolades arrived, so too did the setbacks. In his sophomore season, Daniels has been plagued by injuries, forcing fans and analysts to ask the dreaded question: could history be repeating itself? The comparisons are almost irresistible. Griffin, the 2012 second overall pick, electrified the league with his dual-threat capabilities, racking up impressive stats and capturing hearts in Washington before an untimely knee injury derailed what had promised to be a transcendent career. Daniels, selected second overall in 2024, achieved a similarly meteoric rise, showing flashes of brilliance and leading his team into the postseason. Now, in his second year, Daniels is struggling with multiple injuries that threaten to overshadow the promise of his rookie campaign. The parallels are striking. The accolades, the second-year setbacks, even the timing and circumstances on the field echoing past events. And yet, despite the surface-level similarities, Griffin himself is quick to separate his narrative from Daniels' unfolding story. "Nope," Griffin said in a recent interview, a firm, almost emphatic denial punctuating his words. "I am a positive thinker. Okay, I believe that he will bounce back, as long as they give him the proper amount of time to fully heal. Everyone keeps mentioning me on social media, going into all these diatribes about how they're comparing my situation to Jayden Daniels, but they're really not even close to the same." Griffin's words carry a calm optimism, the kind of perspective that only someone who has lived through the highs and lows of professional football can muster. He isn't dismissing Daniels' struggles, nor is he naive to the pressures and expectations placed on a young quarterback in Washington. Rather, he's framing the narrative as unique, emphasizing that while history may appear to rhyme, each player's path is ultimately their own. Of course, the coincidences are difficult to ignore. Daniels' injury occurred on the same field, against the same team, and at the same yard line where Griffin's career took a significant hit. It's the kind of detail that fuels fan debates and gives sports commentators hours of fodder for their shows. Griffin, however, views it simply as an intriguing coincidence, nothing more. "Yeah," he said with a hint of wry amusement. "That's one hell of a coincidence." He isn't allowing it to become a narrative of doom, instead choosing to focus on Daniels' potential and the steps the team is taking to ensure his recovery is handled properly. The nature of Daniels' injury is also distinct from Griffin's. Griffin's knee injury was catastrophic, altering his mobility and long-term performance. Daniels, on the other hand, suffered a dislocated elbow, a freak accident that occurred as he was attempting to brace himself during a run, not a result of the kind of repeated stress that ended Griffin's prime. The play itself has been scrutinized endlessly, with critics questioning the decision to leave Daniels on the field during a lopsided contest. Head coach Quinn has openly taken responsibility for that decision, acknowledging the misjudgment and the lessons learned in hindsight. "I get that," Quinn said, reflecting on the moment with palpable regret. "I've been thinking about it nonstop too, and, man, I missed it. That is 100% on me." Obviously, the hindsight. You don't want to think that way that an injury would take place. We were more conservative in that spot to run and hand off. Just the end result. Obviously, I'm bummed. We didn't have any red plays on it. The one that he was injured, there's usually a runner or a throw to the flat, not a scramble. So it wasn't a designed read or play into that spot. If we run it 50 times, it's either a handoff or a throw 50 times. Quinn's transparency adds a layer of accountability to the narrative, reinforcing that while luck and circumstance are always factors in the NFL, decisions made in the heat of the moment can have long-lasting consequences. Fortunately for Daniels and the Commanders, early reports indicate that the injury, while painful and alarming, is not as severe as initially feared. There is no ligament damage, and surgery will not be required. The elbow is dislocated, yes, but with proper rehabilitation, Daniels is expected to recover fully and potentially return to the field sooner than anyone anticipated. This silver lining has injected a renewed sense of hope into the fanbase, reminding everyone that injuries, even high-profile ones, do not necessarily dictate the trajectory of a player's career. Griffin's own story serves as a cautionary tale but also as a reminder of resilience, the ability to recover, to adapt, and to defy expectations even when the odds seem stacked against you. Daniels' situation also underscores the complexities of modern quarterback management in the NFL. Teams must balance the drive to win with the imperative to protect their most valuable assets. High draft picks, especially quarterbacks, are under a microscope from the moment they step onto the field. Every decision, from play calling to sideline management, is dissected in real time by fans, analysts, and opponents alike. In Daniels' case, the combination of his explosive running ability and his willingness to take risks on the field, while thrilling, also increases his exposure to potential injuries. Coaches like Quinn are tasked with walking the fine line between leveraging a quarterback's talents and safeguarding his long-term health, a challenge that is as much strategic as it is moral. The media narrative has, unsurprisingly, gravitated toward comparisons between Griffin and Daniels, drawing a through line between their rookie triumphs and sophomore setbacks. Social media threads are ablaze with speculation, from cautious optimism to outright fear that Daniels' career might mirror Griffin's unfortunate trajectory. Yet, as Griffin himself emphasizes, the context matters immensely. The NFL is not a static environment. Rules, medical protocols, offensive schemes, and even team cultures evolve over time. Daniels' support system, including trainers, medical staff, and coaching staff, is far more advanced than what Griffin experienced in 2012. This evolution could make all the difference, allowing Daniels to avoid the pitfalls that derailed Griffin's time in Washington. At the heart of this story is a broader theme that resonates across sports: the fragility of potential and the unpredictability of athletic careers. One moment, a player can be ascending to the pinnacle of their profession, celebrated and adored. The next, an injury or misstep can cast uncertainty over their future. For fans, this volatility is both thrilling and anxiety-inducing. For the players themselves, it is a test of resilience, mental toughness, and the ability to maintain confidence amidst setbacks. Daniels now faces that crucible, and while history looms large, the young quarterback has the opportunity to write a new narrative, one that is not defined by coincidence or comparison, but by recovery, adaptation, and determination. As Washington navigates this challenging period, the message from Griffin remains clear: positivity and patience are crucial. Daniels' path may have hit a bump, but it is far from over. With proper medical care, strategic coaching, and his own talent and perseverance, he has every chance to overcome this setback and continue to fulfill the promise that earned him the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Griffin's insistence on distinguishing their stories is not just an act of optimism. It is a reminder that no two careers are identical, and that even the most striking parallels do not predetermine outcomes. In the end, Washington Commanders fans are left to balance their anxiety with hope, to acknowledge the shadows of history while embracing the potential of the present. Daniels' injury may have triggered memories of Griffin's struggles, but it also opens the door for a new chapter, one that could redefine what it means to recover from adversity in the modern NFL. If Daniels returns to form, he will not be a repeat of Griffin. He will be Jaden Daniels, a young quarterback carving out his own legacy, proving that while football is unpredictable, resilience and opportunity can triumph over coincidence and fear. Griffin's voice, measured and encouraging, serves as both a cautionary reminder and a beacon of optimism. Every story is different, and the chapters yet unwritten may be the most compelling of all. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Rumors have been swirling for weeks, whispers echoing from practice fields to locker rooms, and now, it seems, the whispers are screaming the truth. Drake Jackson, one of the most talked-about defensive prospects, is officially on his way to Washington. Yes, you heard that right. The team is not just dabbling in the off-season shuffle. They are going full force, fortifying their front defensive line with a player whose reputation precedes him, a disruptor who could send shivers down the spines of offensive coordinators across the league. Fans are buzzing, analysts are scribbling notes feverishly, and if you think this is just another mid-season acquisition, think again. This is a statement, a declaration that Washington isn't playing games when it comes to defense. Sources close to the team have hinted at negotiations that were intense, almost cinematic in their drama. Picture boardrooms buzzing, phones ringing off the hook, text chains that stretch for miles, all converging on one central mission: landing Drake Jackson. And landing him they did. The rumor mill suggests that Jackson was highly coveted, not just for his physical prowess, but for the aura he brings to a locker room. There's talk that his presence alone can shift dynamics, energize a defense that's had its ups and downs, and inject a level of aggression that Washington has been desperate for. This isn't just about numbers or tackles, it's about identity. The Commanders are staking a claim, telling the league that they intend to be a force on defense in the most dramatic way possible. Every snap, every rush, every third down stop could suddenly feel different when Jackson is on the field. Fans are already imagining the possibilities. Social media is lit with speculation. How will Jackson fit into Washington's scheme? Will he immediately start terrorizing quarterbacks, collapsing pockets, disrupting plays before they even develop? Analysts are painting scenarios that sound almost too good to be true, highlighting his unique ability to read offenses, to anticipate the snap, and to bring a kind of relentless pressure that few defenders can sustain. And let's be honest, the timing couldn't be more perfect. Washington's defense has been inconsistent, flashes of brilliance tempered by stretches of vulnerability. Enter Jackson, and suddenly, there's a sense of recalibration. Imagine a defensive line that can finally dictate the pace of a game rather than react to it. Opposing teams will have to rethink their strategy, and quarterbacks who thought they could waltz through the pocket may find themselves under siege in a way they haven't experienced all season. But it's not just the tactical advantage. There's also the psychological impact. Locker rooms respond to leadership, to confidence, to players who carry a certain presence. Jackson's rumored arrival is already changing the atmosphere in Washington. Teammates are reportedly excited, motivated, and perhaps a little intimidated, in the best way possible. They see a player who can turn a good defense into a great one, someone whose intensity and work ethic set a new standard. Coaches are thrilled, not just because of his talent, but because he represents a cultural shift. The vibe in training camps could take on a new edge, a renewed hunger that spreads beyond just the defensive line. Every meeting, every drill, every film session could now carry an undercurrent of urgency, driven by the kind of player who doesn't just participate but dominates. The ripple effects of this signing are already being felt in the rumor mill surrounding other teams. Scouts and general managers are allegedly recalculating their defensive priorities, wondering if they need to respond to Washington's aggressive acquisition. Could this trigger a defensive arms race across the league? Will teams start chasing talent in ways that reshape the trade landscape? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. Drake Jackson's name will be on everyone's radar from now on. For the Commanders, this isn't just a roster update. It's a headline, a conversation starter, and a potential game-changer that has fans buzzing and rivals worried. Speculation is at an all-time high about how quickly Jackson can make an impact. Some insiders suggest he's the kind of player who can step into a system and elevate it immediately, while others caution that integration always takes time, chemistry always matters. Still, the prevailing sentiment is clear. This is a top-tier talent, and Washington may have just secured the missing piece of a puzzle that could finally bring their defensive ambitions to fruition. Imagine the highlight reels, the blocked plays, the forced turnovers, the sheer chaos that a player like Jackson can bring to the front line. It's not hyperbole. It's the kind of hype that comes from watching a player who can physically and mentally alter a game with a single snap. And while the deal is officially under wraps, the narrative is already shaping up. The Commanders are no longer a team that simply reacts. They are a team that asserts. The streets of Washington, the fan forums, the commentary sections on social media, all are alive with a mix of excitement, anticipation, and speculation about what's next. Will Jackson become the cornerstone of a defense that suddenly becomes feared rather than merely competent? Will the presence of a player like him inspire others to rise to the occasion, creating a domino effect that transforms the team entirely? The potential is tantalizing, and the chatter is relentless. So, buckle up, because if the rumors are accurate, and every sign points to them being more than just idle speculation, Drake Jackson's arrival in Washington could redefine the team's season, reshape the league's defensive landscape, and give fans something to scream about for months to come. The NFL thrives on drama, on sudden shocks, on seismic shifts that nobody sees coming, and this might just be one of the biggest in recent memory. Keep your eyes peeled, because the next chapter in Washington's story is just beginning, and it promises to be explosive, relentless, and unforgettable. Washington Commanders fans, get ready. Your front defensive line may never be the same again. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.